countries' directives. I hope that lead countries are preparing their final presentations or final directives outcome of those three working group discussions. Countries and are preparing their. I noticed that the final participation of certain countries are not of those. We have not participated in most of the group discussions. We hope that in future we can get their participation for this group work and hope that there are any written communication regarding their working group topics. You can convey to the lead groups to include in our final reports and topics. You can convey to the lead groups to include in our final reports. Having said that, we are going to start the 17th steering committee meeting now. And we call upon South Korea for the presentation of final report of 16th International Steering Committee and Symposium. Thank you. For the presentation South Korea of final report of 16th International Steering Committee and Symposium. Thank you.
Now we are moving on to the presentation of final report of 16th International Steering Committee and Symposium by South Korea. We would like to request from South Korea. We need the webinar logging name and of Korea presenter. Can you kindly send the webinar logging name to our INVEF email, please? We need the webinar logging name and of Korea INVEF Sri Lanka. Can you kindly send the @gmail.com, please? Name to our INVEF email, please. We need the webinar logging name and of Korea INVEF Sri Lanka. Country Malaysia and country Korea, please send the login name. Japan already sent their login name. We have the Japanese login name. Please send the Malaysia and Korea login names. If you can raise your hands, please, we can identify from this monitor, please. Korea and Malaysia. I repeat the request again. INVEF Japan, INVEF Korea and INVEF Malaysia. Can you kindly send your webinar logging name? Or else if you are in the monitor, can you raise your hand, then we can identify. All right, okay, until we receive the logging names from Korea and Malaysia, we would like to invite Japanese INVEF committee to submit their report on presentation of working group 3 final report.
Hello. Okay, so thank you very much. So my name is Yutaka Matsuno, professor at the Kindai University of Japan. Since Professor Hacho, who was chairperson of the working group 3, sorry, can you hear me? Is it okay? Okay, then I'll start the presentation report of the working group 3. My name is Yutaka Matsuno, professor at the Kindai University in Japan. And since Professor Hacho, who was the chairperson of the working group 3, retired this year, I'm in charge of this working group as a chairperson from this year. And it's my honor to chair the working group 3, and I'm looking forward to working with you. As the chairperson of the working group 3, I would like to report the result of the discussion in the meeting. First, I would like to review the objectives of the working group 3. The objectives of the working group 3 discuss how to improve the water use efficiency for increasing the water productivity in paddy agriculture, and share and disseminate the output of the discussion with members and international fora. This group will also initiate to strengthen partnership and collaboration with FAO for the improvement of water use efficiency and water productivity. In order to achieve these objectives, the group carried out the activities. Those include collecting the information on policies and technologies that would improve water use efficiency and productivity from INEP members and international organizations, sharing good practice through workshop and promoting collaboration with African countries. They are keen to expand rice production and also keen to build a strong relationship with the international organizations. Based on the objectives, I will show the activities conducted by the working group 3 since the last steering meeting in Korea. You could go to the next slide, I guess. In November 2019, the last INEP steering committee meeting was held in Seoul, Korea. There were two major outputs from the steering meeting. First, important factors for adequate water supply were confirmed. Second, elements of increasing profitability for paddy farmers were identified. Also, for African countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Zambia were invited to join the steering committee meeting. Through the meeting, EF member countries shared the ideas that are important for us to encourage African countries to join EF for the further collaboration with them. In December, technical exchange between Vietnam and Japan was held under the theme of constructing and maintenance of on-farm structures associated with exchanging or merging farming plot. Unfortunately, after 2019, working group was not able to hold an event due to the pandemic. But we hope to be able to hold some event during the next phase. Next slide, yes, please. This shows the outcome. Can I go to the next slide? Yep, thank you. This shows the outcomes of the activities of the working group from the last steering committee meeting. The 4 African countries were invited to join the last steering meeting and showed positive response toward further collaboration with INWEP. During the last steering committee meeting, INWEP Japanese committee conducted questionnaires to better understand what kind of measures the participants consider important for improvement of water use efficiency and productivity in the countries. There are 14 countries, including African countries, responded. As a result, we understand participants consider that the strengthening water users association, strengthening operation and maintenance, and rehabilitation of earthen canal are very important to improve the water use efficiency and productivities. In addition, in this 70th meeting, Sri Lankan pointed out the need for further collaboration with INEP members and international organizations associated with climate change. We would like to take those results into account for the future activities of working group. Next slide, please. Lastly, I would like to respond the ways forward to the sixth phase. First, the working group 3 would like to plan the workshops and technical exchange seminars as we could not actively hold due to the pandemic. The purpose of the workshop would be sharing the result of the questionnaire, exchange the view regarding the global indicators of the water use efficiency, and sharing FAO's latest information on the water use efficiency and the water productivity. In case of African countries joining to INWEP, we would like to hold meetings to search for ways of further collaboration with African countries. So this is all of my report on the activities of the working group 3. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much in this Japanese committee. Still, we have not received the link from Korea and Japan. Now, what we are going to do is we will give the access to all the participants, country participants. And if Korea is there or if Malaysia is there, if Korea can start producing your report regarding 16th INF International Symposium.
Okay, until the Korea and Malaysia joining, if anybody have any discussion points on the WG3 presentation or discussions, we can discuss it now.
Yes, I have a small the point actually. I participated in the working group three committee meeting. In that meeting, from the Japanese side, they highlighted they raised a question regarding whether we are monitoring the water quality aspects, the agricultural water quality in Sri Lanka. So as far as known to me, actually, we do not do properly the monitoring of the agriculture water quality. So it's the good eye-opening for us to prepare the concept paper or the project proposal and measure the water quality of each and every the district by looking the conditions of water, quality of water at the end users place. That means the plant should get the quality water to produce the healthy nutrient, the food products. We know the irrigation department do some water quality measurement in some of the major tanks, but we do not take much attention to the minor irrigation systems and the medium irrigation schemes. According to the Mr. Prabhat, I know some of he initiated some the activities related to the water quality measurement from the Department of Agrarian Development, but it should be an integrated approach for us to have a national plan for the water quality measurement, because still in Sri Lanka, we don't have prepared agricultural water quality indexes. So we need to do a benchmark studies, and we can get use of this platform from the experiences what the other countries gain by measuring I think Mr. Prabhat, I must be correct, right? So we can ask whether the Japan is doing the water quality, agricultural water quality, the monitoring program or the activities related to the agriculture water quality measurements. Right? To user to give us your idea about as an outcome of the working group 3 discussions.
Yeah, can I? In response to that, that's comment. I think in Japan, there are many researches going on regarding water quality of agricultural water. And also, I believe Korean people.
Japanese committee.
Can
We would like
can
to
I
hear from you.
Yep.
Regarding
Okay.
the invitation and the request made by our chairman of, secretary to the INVEF committee regarding measurement of water quality.
So you're asking us to talk something about water quality?
Yeah.
Okay.
As an outcome of WG3 regarding water quality, because Japanese are doing well in this aspect.
Well, actually, we have many researches have been conducted regarding water quality of agricultural water, and definitely we can help them. Help you to making a program of the water quality monitoring, and we also have a standard, water quality standard for agricultural users. And I believe Korean people also doing many research regarding the water quality of agricultural water. So maybe EF members, we can help differently.
Okay, thank you very much. We now know that Korea has connected to our webinar now. And now it is over to you, INVEF Korea, to present the 16th International Steering Committee and Symposium report. Over to you, Korea.
Okay.
presentation from Korean INF committee. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes, go ahead, please. We can hear.
Okay, thank you very much for having a chance to presentation over 2019 Seoul INF and PAWIS International Conference. Next, please. So let me introduce the overview of the conference. So that was implemented in 2019 November from 5th to 7th. The venue was an Intercontinental COEX Hotel, Seoul, Korea. The co-organizers of this international conference was PAWIS, INF, and Korean Society of Agricultural Engineer, Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. The joint theme was a new green and smart paradigm of agricultural water. And there was two sub-themes and the four sub-themes respectively on the INF and the PAWIS. The total number of So dear all participants, can you see the slides we are sharing with you? Okay, let me go ahead. And the number of the total participants of this international conference was the 235 participants, 109 from INF and 126 from PAWIS. Welcome and keynote speeches implemented by respectively by Mr. Chen-Shin Rai, Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Mr. Kim In-jung, Director General, Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs of Korea, and Dr. Chen-Shin Rai, Director General of the Ministry of Economic Affairs of Taiwan, and Mr. In-sik Kim, President of Korea Rural Community Corporation, and last and not the least, Dr. Sung-Jun Kim, Chairman, Korean Society of Agricultural Engineer. And for the keynote speech, Dr. Jin-soo Kim, Professor of Chungbuk National University, and Lalis de Luis, Acting Additional Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Rural Affairs, Irrigation and Fisheries, and Aquatic Resources Development, did keynote speech. And there was two sessions of INF under the theme, first theme of innovative and sustainable paddy farming for water, food, and environment, which is chaired by Professor Kyung-suk Choi of Korea. And session 2 was implemented under the theme of smart paddy farming policies and technologies to address climate change's impact, chaired by Dr. Jang Jong-yeol of KRC, Korea. Of course, there were many participants and the presenters with valuable experience and information to be shared. And next for the report on the very last 15th INF Steering Committee presentation and the report on working groups activities in 2019. And there was a parallel session of a discussion for each working group's discussion and presentation for the results. For future cooperation with the new participants, Iran and 5 African countries, including Ethiopia, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, and Zambia. And next for the presentation of a special presentation by ICID, the Secretary General of ICID implemented the presentation of a role of ICID in promoting water-saving agricultural management and implications for paddy farming. And for the venues for the next steering meeting, the 17th steering meeting in Sri Lanka and 18th for Egypt. I'd like to share the 16 INF Steering Committee meetings joint statement of INF and PAWIS. For the INF, there was a presentation of the joint statement based on under one of the themes of fifth phase, strengthening partnership and utilization of INF expertise to achieve the SDGs. The INEP expands its activity to African regions where increasing rice production is an urgent issue. The INEP invited some African countries to the 16th INEP steering meeting and shared knowledge and experiences with each other. The INEP facilitates cooperation among the member countries and international organizations as well. The Working Group 2 workshop will be held in Bangkok, Thailand from February 4 to 7, 2020, hosted by INEP Thai committee. But unfortunately, this Working Group 2 workshop was postponed until the international arrival quarantine regulation is cancelled by Thailand government. The 70th INEP steering meeting will be held in Sri Lanka in 2020. And the last one will be the announcement of the 18th venue of INEP steering committee in Egypt for the next time. This will cover all the issues and the contents of a final report in 2019 Seoul INEP and PAWIS International Conference. Based on the chat message we are received, we are requested from the Japanese side for the comments regarding to the 19th Seoul INEP and PAWIS International Conference presentation. Thank you.
Dear Korean committee, can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for noticing our comments on that chat. That comment means for we wanted to comment the next steering meeting at the last of this steering meeting. So now we don't have any comment for your presentation. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wu, for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are any other comments from any other members. Okay, we will go for the
I am the secretary to the INEP committee Sri Lanka. So I would like to thank to the Korean committee. Actually, they did a very marvelous the event in 2019 to conduct in the 16th INEP symposium and the international steering committee. The more than 200 participants were there, and they had a good workshop, including conducting the 3 working group committee meetings. And the meeting outcomes was very enlightening for us, the other community, especially for us, to do some applied research in the field. Actually, they conducted some instrumental experiment to measure the soil moisture, the content in the paddy field, and to monitor the water for irrigation. Actually, if you can recall your memories, yesterday also one of the engineers who are working for the National Water Supply Drainage Board is doing the similar way of attempt to monitor the water level in a paddy field by taking into account the soil moisture, the content, with the electronic instruments. So that was very the beginning to Sri Lankan community when we attended to your INEP international meeting in Seoul, Korea. Thank you, INEP, the Korean committee, for responding us all the time to conduct some working group activities with you all, and your outcome to get some insights to prepare our future plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lalit Alois, and for your comment. And I invite Korean committee to present the working group 2 report as well. Working
Greetings
group,
again from INUP Korean committee. Can you hear me? And can you see the slide we are sharing for you?
yeah, we can hear you. Still,
But we can't see the slides.
Okay, after a while you can see it. Please wait a moment. Okay, good afternoon again. I would like to introduce and briefly present the activity report in a country-wise of the working group 2, based in accordance with the 5th phase strategy of our INF. Now, based on the preliminary collection of each country activity report, with the chair country of Korea, 5 honorable participating country members of working group 2 gathered together, and we just shared valuable experience and knowledges we have implemented under the 5th phase strategy of INF. So from now on, I'd like to very briefly, with your understanding, because of the time constraint, let me start with Korea. So mostly the working group 2 country activity report consists of four main parts: policy and business, and research and development, international cooperation, and capacity building. So in terms of a policy and business, International Water Management Master Plan for integrated water management was designed. Based on master plan, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs is revising the plan for rationalization of rural water use. Based on the plan, Korea Rural Community Corporation designed mid-long-term plan for scientific water resource management in 2021. And in terms of research and development of a water balance model in agricultural watershed for IWRM, guidelines on installation of an irrigation canal for agricultural water supply efficiency, development of calculating water supply amount for agriculture reservoir using ICT, development of a performance improvement technique on agricultural infrastructure, development of agricultural infrastructure design standards and operating system to respond to agricultural disasters, performance analysis of automation system for agricultural water management. Besides these research titles mentioned, there were lots of related research and development was implemented. So in terms of international cooperation, there was 2 times of a TF meeting for 17th INF Symposium and TF meeting for the next 9th World Water Forum, which will be held by Senegal. A session organized by KRC and KCID under the theme of a smart water management. It is requested by the headquarters of ICID. Participating 2020 ICID 21st International Executive Council video conference last year. International webinar for Indonesia water and food security in March 2021. Down. In terms of capacity building, there are 5 related international professional training regarding to the modernization and mechanization of irrigation, especially for the enhanced water use management. So these are the pictures taken during the 2020 ICID 21st International Executive Council by the video conference. This is the TF meeting for 9th World Water Forum preparation by ICID, KRC, and KCID participated. And this is the screenshot for the virtual training course implemented by International Education and Exchange Center of KRC. These are 2 working group conference held by ICID side, each for the working group CDTE and working group for ASRWG, which is for the Asian Regional Working Group. So from now on, I'd like to briefly introduce the activity of our working group 2 member countries in alphabetical order. First, Bangladesh, in terms of research and development, uses of a portable solar panel for irrigation and domestic purposes. Evaluation of a smallholder surface water solar irrigation system for crop production. Introduction of a low water demanding non-rice crops in the annual rice-based cropping patterns in a water scarce area of Bangladesh. Evaluation of water efficient technologies for rice and mango irrigation in a water shortage drought prone area. In terms of capacity building, conducted training program for water professionals on integrated water resources management hosted by Bangladesh Water Partnership. Conducted training on modernized efficient irrigation system for field crop and orchid. And by the Philippines, in terms of a policy, consolidation of water resources management through NIA. In terms of a business, development of a floating solar and hydraulic power project in the existing irrigation system and future irrigation projects. In terms of research and development, continuous construction and operation of a wide range solar powered pump irrigation system, about 169 have been completed and are ready operation as of 7 October 21st. In terms of capacity building, participated to different programs geared toward new innovations on irrigation, such as the Water Security and Climate Change Conference hosted by the ICID, and modern irrigation and fertigation in tropical regions hosted by the Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs together with the MASHIP, International Agricultural Training Center. An online international training course on the development of agricultural resilience through climate smart irrigation system hosted by the Thailand International Development Cooperation Agency. And next, the country activity implemented by Sri Lanka side as a development of updating technical guidelines for appropriate guidelines are essential for anyone to adopt the rich knowledge and experience gained over years of practice by relevant professionals in new endeavors, whether it is construction, operation, or management of a system, could encompass not only technical, but social, environmental, legal, and institutional knowledge. Methodology adopted by the consultants team to gather the information was having discussion with the ID staff, consulting the individuals, reviewing literatures, and obtaining response to questionnaires on specific subjects. Finally, 22 existing guidelines are 30 new guidelines were clustered under 6 themes: investigations, planning and economic analysis, hydrology, mechanical, rehabilitation and design and estimation, and irrigation management fields. And for the climate smart irrigated agriculture project, the project development objective is to improve the productivity in the village tank cascade system and the climate resilience of a smallholder agriculture in selected hotspot areas during a period of 5 years. Because of the time constraint, I'd like to skip the major detail of this project for you, under your excuse. In terms of providing new guideline and the smart modernizing minor irrigation dams and the spillways to suit climate change, to prepare new technical guidelines for rehabilitation of minor irrigation structures and village tank desilting and categorization of a village tank cascades and prioritization for investment based on consequences versus risk. And for preparation of a hydrological soil ground map of Sri Lanka to facilitate curve number hydrology to minimize disaster risk in water resources planning, especially in irrigation system. For prioritization of 48,050 minor village irrigation schemes for rehabilitation improvements with an idea of a disaster risk reduction and better production, especially under climate change scenario. The result of the study is used to special irrigation rehabilitation program by the GOSL to improve 5,000 village irrigation system in 2020 to 21. For prepare regulations for Agrarian Development Act 46-2000 to introduce irrigation reservation and buffer zones for protection, conservation, and efficient management of irrigation infrastructures. And from now on, I'd like to present the activities implemented by Thailand side in terms of a policy, collecting the policy on modernizing of irrigation system and climate change adoption in numbers, international organizations, and international fora. Refers to the speech given by the Secretary General of Office of the National Water Resources on 14th Thai CID National E-Symposium 2021. INEP Thai and the partners, Thailand has driven the mechanism of water resource management of Thailand via 4 pillars as follows. In terms of research and development, from now on, I'd like to introduce the researches implemented by INEP Thai and other partners. Development of a sustainable water management model for Klong Swan Mark River Basin, Thailand. And the evaluation of a Royal Initiative Water Resources Development projects in the Passak River Basin, upstream area of the Passak Jolasit Dam. And next, water management model for medium-scale reservoirs, non-province by RID. And drought monitoring and the water management model for medium-scale reservoirs by RID. And for collecting researches, technologies, and information and modernization of irrigation system and climate change adoption in members, international organizations, and international fora. First, a water level sensor for alternative wetting and the drying, the real-time soil moisture and the other information transmit to line application for smart farmer. The rain gauge with a solar power, rainfall data can be real-time collected and telemetered automatically by using green energy by RID. Royally initiated vetiver grass development project, a wireless tensiometer is used for evaluating and regulating water for the appropriate crop water requirement. And rubber cough flume, since the rubber has been oversupplied, the researchers try to use rubber as materials for any products. Therefore, the cough flume is made of rubber and a plug-in IoT system in order to telemeter flow rate. The participatory community water management of a Bangla Kam Flood Retention Area, Thailand, RID, has been given Public Sector Excellency Award 2021 by Office of the Public Sector Development Mission. And collecting networks and the cooperation with the international organization, with the RID and the OVKI Hungary, development of a prototype in flood-prone area water management Thailand, and RID with the Korea Rural Community Corporation implemented a training program on hydraulic physical model, and RID and Deltares Netherlands exchange programs on hydraulic physical models and water quality monitoring guideline for retarding area of Chao Phraya River Basin. And last, RID and the China Water Resource Beifang Investigation, Design and Research Company training program on alphatic concrete for dam construction. And in terms of capacity building, a young waterman workshop was implemented under the theme of the strengthening farmers' children network for RID participatory irrigation water management by Irrigation Development Institute and the Public Participatory Promotion Division, RID Thailand. And last but not least, implemented action by Vietnam side in terms of a policy. The implement plan of Vietnam water resource and irrigation strategy to 2030 with a vision to 2045. The implementation plan of irrigation modernization program for crops, diversification, and sustainable agricultural development in Mekong River Delta. Approving the investigation result on management, exploitation, and the efficient use of irrigation networks, national program on water resources security and dam safety. In terms of a business, Mekong Delta Integrated Climate Resilience and Sustainable Livelihood Project by World Bank, and water use efficiency improvement for drought-affected provinces by ADB. In terms of research and development, socialization of on-farm irrigation management in Highland, irrigation service pricing, typical design for on-farm irrigation scheme and planning for irrigation scheme in Mekong River Delta in the context of climate change, assessment and solution for irrigation water quality improvement in Red River Delta, digital transformation and the geospatial application of a smart agriculture, water productivity improvement in terms of capacity building, strengthening communication and public awareness on disaster, national training program and the material on irrigation management for irrigation management companies and what user groups. International cooperation, international water security and climate change symposium, and international seminars on IWRM and saving irrigation for salinity intrusion affected areas. So thank you very much for your long concentration for this very huge number of activities implemented from the all participating countries of working group 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, INF Korea Committee, for presenting a long list of initiatives from the member countries of Working Group 2. And if other working group members have any comments or discussion points regarding this Working Group 2 activities, we can have a few minutes for the discussion. Okay, since there are no any other comments from other working group members, I kindly invite INF Malaysia for the presentation of Working Group 1 activities and the report. Thank you.
Now we have opened the link to everybody connected. If Malaysia is there, kindly connect with us to submit the report. Yeah. Now, if Malaysia, if we cannot connect Malaysia, we are in a position, Sri Lanka INF committee is in a position to submit the WG1 report as well. Right, okay. Shall we go, shall we proceed with that? Engineer Prabhat Vitarana from Sri Lanka INF committee and Mr. W.K. Karunatilaka jointly will submit the summary of the report.
Good day, the distinguished gathering. This is something on working group number 1. The subject is multifunctionality and food value chain. So first, the multifunctionality is that we define as the main function is the food and nutrition, and the other functions, there are so many ecological services, but soil conservation, drought mitigation, flood control, and carbon footprint. And food value chain, so it is divided into 3 stages. First one is the input control. Second one is the production process of paddy. Third one is the supply chain. Supply chain in the sense, the process starting from producer up to the consumer. So in this analysis, paddy-based ecosystem, the management of paddy-based ecosystems, we mainly considered 3 segments. One is the plant segment, second one is the soil and water segment, third one is the supply chain and market. So the first domain, that is multifunctionality, the Sri Lanka reported that number of activities that they have conducted, mainly on capacity building in community participation on ecological farming, prevention network for migratory pest, eco-friendly integrated weed management systems, introduce phosphorus biofertilizer, new regulations to protect paddy ecosystems, start study on nationally important paddy-based agriculture heritage systems, we call it as NIAS, database on abandoned paddy lands and buffers and reasons for abandonment, study already conducted, and introduce soil health cards, that is on multifunctionality. On food value chain side, the supply chain process, strengthen multi-purpose cooperative system, that is yes, traditional rice as agribusiness, one pilot project, dissemination of salt tolerant rice varieties, study on paddy yield potentials and new plant varieties from the agriculture side. And then we get on to the proposal side, that is 21-22 here. From multifunctionality segment, so we want to introduce soil health card at national level to monitor soil fertility and soil health. And especially we are highly concerned about the soil and water quality assessments. Not only the soil, I think we want to assess both water for reservoirs, streams and other water resources that are mainly connected for paddy. Third one is the land classification based on land suitability and land capability that can be led for crop diversification in the second season. It does not mean that we are going to divert the paddy fields to something else that is prohibited in Sri Lanka, but in the second season there is a water scarcity season. In that particular season we can go for the legume crops. That is what we call the crop diversification. So introduce, now here we are practicing supply oriented the water distribution system at farm level. So we want to turn it into the demand oriented system to save more water. Application of remote sensing. So that is one of the area that we are really looking for as a proposal to monitor the status of crop as well as the soil. So even forecasting the biomass development can be assessed and yield forecasting also can be done. Under the multifunctionality, introduce yes, supply, FEC means supply chain management. We are concerning about reduce post-harvest losses. In Sri Lanka, there are 562 centers called agrarian services centers that are mainly established to support this the supply chain management. So we wanted to convert that into a one-stop shop. That is one of the concepts that we are really looking for, at least at pilot level. We want to test this one. And the e-governance for food value chain. E-governance in the sense, this is business process re-engineering. The processes that we are get involved in food value chain. So we wanted to make it electronic and on either web portal or dashboards or without any eye contacts. We should allow the farmers to work with interactive interfaces without going and spending their times with the government officials. That is what we are really looking for, the governance. At least at pilot level, I think it's better if we can have to start in forthcoming years. Along with that, information circulating system, rationalized the relational database for the paddy lands in this country, and value addition for paddy, and integrated. Now in Sri Lanka, there are individual farm organizations, but we are really looking for integrated farm organizations at a bigger scale to support marketing. Strengthen there's a farmers bank, but we want to strengthen the farmers bank to provide financial support for the paddy cultivation in this country. And there are a large number of abandoned paddy lands, and we wanted to introduce PPP, public-private partnership, to recultivate those abandoned paddy lands. And studies and research, we highly believe that the paddy contributes for the groundwater research and flood control, but it's not quantified, it's not evaluated, that is not properly assessed. We wanted to evaluate and assess and quantify those contributions. And we wanted to quantify the water footprint of paddy and also carbon footprint of paddy. A study on traditional land tenure is another sector that we are really looking for. Identify and conserve nationally important paddy and water heritage systems, collaboration with researchers to provide information on aspects related to the economic and adaptation technologies. Finally, to make available improved rice varieties with farmer acceptance, to assure availability of quality seeds for the farmers, to make available associated technologies for high productivity and profitability, to make available eco-friendly plant protection technologies. Now, these days we are highly concerned about the promotion of organic agriculture, adaptation of climate smart technologies for on-farm activities are some of the important proposals that we have already made. And introduce and promote DNA fingerprinting, gene discovery and pre-breeding technologies. And also plant genetic resource and develop national standards for plant genetic resource, PGR. So this is one of the proposal. So in addition, I think the India made a strong comment on the use of drip irrigation. So they are doing they have done already a number of experiments for paddy. And Thailand, of course, they are highly concerned about the water savings, and so they believe alternative wet and drying systems, and they are and also for I think to have large fields for land preparations for the use of laser levelers, and some of the proposals made by the other countries. Any other things?
Yes, there's four countries participated in this Group 1 activity, and Thailand, India, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. Thailand made their presentations regarding alternative wetting and drying system to cut down the water used by the paddy cultivation, and also they wanted to improve the water use efficiency in paddy cultivation. They wanted to go for land leveling to improve water management, and also Thai rice, they are going to I think comply with these SDG goals by 2030. And also they had some areas which are being affected by flood annually, and they wanted to reduce this flood damage, and what they have some proposals on that. So they are going to cultivate some flood resistance crops, and also fish aquaculture there, and also in the dry spells to go for alternative wetting and drying system. And then regarding this Indian presentation, so they wanted to introduce, they are trying with drip irrigation to cut down the water use by paddy. I think they have practiced it for several seasons by now, and they have good results, and they are now connecting it with the organic rice production, which they have 5 tons per hectare yield reported. And also they are going to have this what's called this food value chain, new products with these organic rice. And also they have some issues with rice straw. There's massive production of rice straw as per their presentation, and also some rice, what's called byproducts like rice husk. They are going to use them for making some fertilizers like ash and activated carbon. And also to use rice straw for mushroom production and energy production and organic manure production. And so they are going to develop bio business models with these byproducts. And then regarding the Thailand people, they have had some questions regarding this Indian production plans. And in case of Malaysia, they didn't made presentations on the program, and so they have published a report on rice industry, status of rice production in Malaysia. It is regarding, I think they have had 3 groups working on rice production and research and development and related activities. So they referred us to go through the to website and gave the website also to study their report. And finally, they wanted to endorse the POR. Yeah, that was what have.
Thank you very much for your kind attention. And if there are any questions, so we will try our best to answer.
Well, I have a comment on your presentation. Actually, we did our action plan presentation and the progress report with the consultation of a series of consultation with our stakeholders. I think while you do the presentation, we were not unable to see the road map, prepared. The first four slides. Actually, the graphical presentation is very much needed to show the plan what we have been prepared by the Sri Lankan professionals to address the multifunctionality of the paddy water environment. Could you please now you can explain how this is not the INF map, actually this is the map what we have been prepared with the participation of all the stakeholder agencies in Sri Lanka related to the irrigated agriculture sector.
Yeah, the definition of as we understood, the definition of multifunctionality in the sense any process can offer number of functions in addition to its main functions at the same time simultaneously. As far as the paddy is concerned, so it is at the zenith. It offers large number of ecosystem services in addition to its main function, that is food and nutrition. So when we define the term multifunctionality, normally there are 4 segments. One is the provisional segment. This food and nutrition is we assume that it's a provision that this particular process offers. And the other functions, of course, there are regulatory segments and cultural segments and support segments. Now you see, now there can be 101 other ecosystem services, but as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, so there are four main advantages so that we have identified. One is the soil conservation. It's actually a support. Then the drought mitigation and flood control, it's a regulatory aspect. And the carbon footprint and the water footprint, that's also support. So when we try to identify, evaluate, assess and quantify those functions or advantages derived out of paddy culture, so this is how we conceptualize the entire process. Then the second slide. Yes, food value chain also, as we understood, it has three main segments. One is the input control. So in case of paddy food value chain, there are a number of inputs. Water is also one of the inputs. Land is also one of the inputs. There can be seeds or fertilizer, whatever it may be. Second thing is the production process. So we can manage the inputs, control the inputs, and we can control and manage the production process. Once it is done, then there is another segment that is supply chain. That's a part of food value chain. Supply chain in the sense, it starts from produce. Once the material is produced, it starts from producer and end up at the consumer. It's between the chain from producer to consumer. That is how we understood this concept and develop our strategies and activities. The next slide, there is another slide. Yes, in the paddy-based ecosystems, when we try to control the inputs, and and especially the management aspects, it's one aspect is plant management. So what are the strategies and activities that we can identify to improve the productivity with respect to the plant management? Second one is the soil and water management, contributing to increase the productivity. Third one is the supply chain and the market. So how do we contribute for the production by improving supply chain and the market? With these concepts in mind, in Sri Lanka, we develop our strategies and activities and action plans. Thank you.
Okay, I thank Engineer Prabhat Vitarana and Mr. Dr. Karunatilaka for briefing on WG1 discussions on behalf of the lead country. Lead country, actually, we couldn't get the connections still, I think. And even last week also, we were having some troubles getting connections with the Malaysia committee. If there are any comments on the working group 1 discussions or proposals for the other working group members or any other members of the working group who the India, Malaysia, Thailand and Japan who participated in the working group 1 discussions. If there are any other additional comments or any things to add to the briefing, it is time for that now.
Can I say something?
Since there are no
Can I say something?
I think
Excuse me. Can I say something?
Next item.
Hello, can I say something?
Again, big thank to all three leading countries for conducting working group, all three working groups, and then presenting their reports, especially Engineer Prabhat and Mr. Karunatilaka, as a contingency item. We could not connect Malaysia, but you have done the justice for the report. Okay, then we will be moving on to the next event in the agenda in the steering committee. This is presentation of 6th phase strategic action plan and annual action plan for 2020-2021. This will be done by Invest Japan committee. Over to Invest Japan, please.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, let's start. I'm Matsura from, okay. I'm Matsura from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Japan. I have an honor to participate in the 17th INEP International Steering Committee meeting today. First, I would like to express my gratitude to the Sri Lankan government and INEP Sri Lanka committee for organizing this event. I will make a presentation about the proposal on the INEP 6 phase strategy. This table shows the activities of each working group in phase 5. As you can see, each group showed good performance in 2018 and 2019. But since 2020, however, activities were stagnated because of COVID-19. When we consider our strategy for the next phase, we should put proper attention to the recent developments in international issues related to water, environment, food, and agriculture. In this regard, firstly, I would like to point out the SDGs, which were adopted by all member states of the United Nations in 2015. Among the 17 goals of SDGs, 7 goals are very relevant to the INEP challenges and activities. For example, Goal 2 are set to end hunger through promoting sustainable agriculture, which is directly linked to our challenges. Improving water use efficiency and water productivity of paddy field in monsoon Asia should make great contribution to achieving this goal. After last International Steering Committee, Japan asked other INEP members to indicate issues which are considered to be important for each country and should be dealt with in next phase. And 3 countries answered to the questionnaire. The common issues among 3 countries includes the issues related to climate change and COVID-19. In addition, Japan thinks it important to pay more attention to the issues, which will become more important in the coming years, such as smart water management and adoption of new technologies in our sector. This slide shows some of the statements of international conferences related to agriculture and water. Here, I quote UN Secretary General's chair summary and the statement of action on the UN Food System Summit held on September this year. It will be impossible to sustainably manage water resources to achieve SDG 6 without agriculture playing a central role. And food system more broadly must also reflect our commitment on sustainable consumption and production in SDG 12. Climate change, adaptation and mitigation in SDG 13, and the protection, restoration, and the sustainable management of terrestrial ecosystems in SDG 15, and so on. These statements have continuously touched the importance of sustainable food production, food security, climate change, and water resource management. As I said in previous slides, sustainable food production and raising water productivity are still listed as the most important agenda in international fora. SDGs look like keeping its highest position in the policy agenda for almost all countries in the world. On the other hand, our activities are being stagnated by COVID-19 so that no reached to the outcomes expected. In this regard, Japan would like to propose that the theme of phase 5 to be continued in phase 6 with minor changes to reflect recent development keywords under the theme, such as water productivity, new technology, and COVID-19. In order to make the result of the activities better, it is important to involve many stakeholders. Coincidentally, International Executive Council of ICID will be held on end of this month in Morocco, And 9th World Water Forum will be held in next March in Senegal. These water-related conferences in Africa may be a sign that we should also focus on African countries more. Therefore, I also would like to suggest that we should try to encourage African countries such as Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Ghana, Zambia, and Tanzania, which we invited to last steering committee in Seoul, to join our network in order to expand our partnership. In conclusion, I would like to say that to pursue the INEP 3 challenges of food security and poverty alleviation, sustainable water use, and partnership, 2 themes of more resilient and productive paddy farming and strengthening partnership and the utilization of INEP expertise to achieve the SDGs would be appropriate for the next phase. This is all I brief for the theme of new phase. And can I move on next annual action plan?
Please continue.
Okay. Continuously, I will explain about the 6th phase strategy and the annual action plan from 2021 to 2022. Okay, number 1, mission statement is not changed. The mission of the INEP has 3 challenges, as I explained: food security and poverty alleviation, sustainable water use, and partnership. And number 2, vision is also not changed. INEP will enhance the exchange of data, and the new information comes from INEP activities. And number 3, theme of the 6th phase that I proposed just now, so I skip this part. Okay, number 4, terms of reference of working groups in 6th phase. I think any changes has been done just previous working groups. So I think it's same as 5th phase. So we should keep in mind the new concept reflect to the new theme. Okay, next, number 5. Next steering committee will be held in Egypt, but the timing is under consideration. Yeah. And number 6, as for related conference for INEP members, 4th Asia Pacific Water Summit will be held in April in Kumamoto, Japan. INEP Japan Committee urges INEP members to visit Japan and participate in the APWS. And also World Water Forum will be held in March in Dakar, Senegal. It is desired for INEP members to participate in 9th World WWF. And number 7, INEP Japan Committee is on the progress of renew the website. Please wait for a moment. Yes, this is all I brief about the new theme and the annual plan. Thank you for your attention.
For the INEP Japan Committee for presenting the 6th phase strategic action plan and annual action plan for 2021. And if there are any comments from other countries regarding the 6th phase strategic action plan and annual action plan, we can have a few minutes discussion.
Mr. Chairman, this is comments from Korea. Can we proceed?
Yes, yes, please. can. Yes. you can.
Please give us the permission to share the slides we used during the discussion working group 2. 발표 자료 중에 2번 자료. 예. 그거 좀 보여주세요. Now we are sharing the slide for TOR of working group 2. Can you all participants can see the slide? Now can you see the TOR of working group 2 slide?
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. During the plenary discussion of working group 2, all the participating country members of the working group will mutually agreed for the let me continue. Well, all the honorable participating member country of working group 2, we all agreed the terms of reference of the tentative terms of reference of this working group contents as you show. So let me skip all the parts, and especially for the mandate of the working group, there is a second part is to share the good practices for the policies, technologies, and information of a working group 2. Regarding to this activity and the mandate of our working group, based on the proposal from Thailand INF committee, we would like to collect the report of activity based on the fixed strategy of INF, and we collect all the report from the member country of a working group 2 and try to make one report for the activity. The time frame for collecting and the publish will be the 3 months under the agreement of all participating working group members. So as a result of the collecting the activity report, that will be one of the output we can suggest during in accordance with the 6th phase of INF strategy. Thank you.
Any responses from the Japanese committee, please?
Could you kindly tell me that if we need some correction about the action plan, or member of working group 2 should submit the report to the INEP Korea directory?
Okay, I think that there will be there will be some correction or revision after we submit the working group 2 report and group 1 report as well. And we will move to the next item of the agenda, and it is the nomination and selection of a host country. For 18th International Steering Committee, already there was a nominated member, and we received an email from Japanese committee regarding this matter, and I will read that.
Sir, now Egypt has sent a mail now, just now. Just they wanted to make a comment.
Okay.
On the
Then,
18th.
Yeah, we will invite INF Egypt committee to make a comment on their request. Dr. Badawi. Thank you.
Dr. Badawi, if we have given you the access, please can come in through that line. Okay, right, it's there.
Okay, hi. Hello.
Hi. Oh,
Do you hear me?
You can talk.
Hello.
Yeah, you can give your message.
Yes,
please.
I am Dr. Shaimaa Badawi, a professor at Kafr al-Sheikh University, Egypt. I'm a member of Committee Egypt in INWIP. I'm chairing with you instead of Dr. Badawi Tantawi.
Yeah, please continue.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear
Yes.
you.
Yes, his opinion is according to our circumstances here in Egypt, that the coming or the next committee in 2022, the online meeting is not preferred or acceptable for Egypt here. And there are two problems for physical committee, restrictions and risk due to the COVID-19. Also, the Egypt cannot hold the next committee 2022 under the current conditions mentioned above, because Egypt will be very happy to hold it in 2023 when almost all the population here in Egypt are totally vaccinated. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We will discuss the committee. Any other have any suggestions or?
Hello.
Yes.
From INEP Japan. Can I talk about that issue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Firstly, thank you for Dr. Shama talking about the issues of Egypt. We really understand the situation of Egypt. So Japan INEP committee suggests to INEP Sri Lanka committee that as a host country, could you kindly ask other member countries if they are okay for them to suspend the next 18th steering meeting in Egypt, and as on the suggestion from Egypt, the next 18th steering meeting will be held in Egypt in 2023.
Okay, yeah. We ask the other members who are joining us today if there are any volunteer country who can hold
とりあえず
the
23年に開催することを認めるかどうか、他のカントリーに承諾を受けさせ
in
ないと進めます。
2022, the 18th meeting. Any suggestions?
On top of that, we in Japan suggest that we think we should consider
最初に23年をみんなが認めるかどうかっていうのを先に話をちゃんと結論させる。うちがすぐサジェッションじゃないんだ。
so so we once again we want ask in Sri Lanka committee that asking for other member country that other member country approve the suggestion from Egypt that they wanted to hold their 18th steering committee in 2023. Thank you.
Excuse me, Kingdom of Cambodia INF committee, we can't hear you. Can you unmute your mic and speak? We can see you are talking. Can you unmute your mic? Cambodia INF committee.
So the welcome from the Cambodia member. So I have no any suggestion for this matter. So I just discuss about if they handover postpone in 18 on 22 to 23 for Egypt. So I agree this one, but I don't know another member. So I know any idea. I just thinking alone. Just thank you.
No idea. No idea. なんとも言いようがない。
I think as suggested by INF Japan, and since INF Egypt agreed to host the meeting on 2023, we can skip and hold the 18th meeting on 2023 at Egypt. Is it agreeable?
So now you're going to skip now. Yeah. Yes, I for Cambodia we agree this one.
Are there any other comments from any other member countries? INF Japanese committee?
Mr. Chairman, from Korean side, can we present our comments regarding to the Japanese committee's proposal?
Yes, please.
Regarding to the Japanese committee's proposal, in the Korean committee, basically agreed on the proposal from Japanese side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Chairman. Can I talk now?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Now is a national committee want to do is a postpone is a steering meeting to the 2023 due to any influence of the COVID-19. However, since 2019, we have no chance to any occasion to gather together. So therefore, in order to keeping a relationship among our member. From Japanese side, would like proposal is another occasion to for gathering is a member, such as large scale is a task force meeting, or is some joint is a working group is a seminar in next year. We are Japanese committee have some idea to the some small event, but if possible is more about the detail of this idea I want to discuss in the task force meeting. Thank you.
Yes, I think from Sri Lanka National Committee side, we also agree. We are agreed to your proposal for having a task force meeting to discuss the proceedings with the main task force members. Yeah, we can invite Egypt to conduct the 18th meeting on 2023 November. Yeah. If it is agreed by all the member countries, we can make it as the decision of today's steering committee meeting. Okay, I think everybody agrees. So we take it as a decision taken in this steering committee meeting. Thank you. And next in the agenda is suggestions and discussion, in addition to the last discussion regarding the next country.
Okay, since we do not have any suggestions and discussions from the member countries, we will be moving to closing ceremony of the 17th International Steering Committee of INVEF. So we will invite INVEF Japan Committee to make the closing remarks of 17th INVEF International Steering Committee meeting.
Thank you for chair. It's Engineer DD is Ariana Itne. Chairman of the Sri Lanka is INEP. Distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kitada, is the Ministry of Agriculture of Japan. I honor to attend the 17th Steering Committee's meeting today. And further honor to deliver closing remarks on behalf of the Japanese committee. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on the success completion of the 17th steering meeting. Event was held online due to the influence of the COVID-19. But once again, I'd like to express my gratitude to the INEP Sri Lanka committee for your effort is organized today. It's the steering committees very thankful. And today's steering committee meeting is important for us because whether it transits from its fifth phase to the sixth phase. So thank you for the approval of the 6 phases strategy proposal and the annual plan presented by the Japanese Secretariat in the steering meeting. The show is a 6 phase strategy proposal is considering recent including the discussion of water resource and is a discussion of the Sdgs and the United Nations. It is inevitable for INEP to discuss SDG to the action plan toward sustainable use of the waters to continue the party field farming. Based on this situation for the future phases of the INEP, I'm keen aware we should take action to achieve the SDGs. And two is contribute to the sustainable water use on party farming. Through its working group activities such as a working shop and a technical exchange. We also thanks for to support for the importance of the further collaboration with African countries. I think with cooperation with them, deliver diversity to the INEP activities, where is a great force for the INEP to appeal the importance of farming to the world in the future. I'm looking forward to what kind of cooperation we can do African country face. Supporting and the collaboration and the African countries next year is in Tunisia is ticket 8 is already held. Not only Japan is but also other country also is tackled to support it to the for the support is African development. Other conference of the REIT is INEP. The World Water Foods will be held in the Dakar, in Senegal, in March next year. And there is the Asian Pacific Water Summit where is held in Kumamoto, Japan, in the next April. Both conferences with the important is the REIT conference is disseminate is INEP ideas and effort to the outside world. So active participant of the member country is expected. In particular, is Asia Pacific Summit will be hosted by Japan. Kumamoto is very interesting. Is many is sightseeing point and good locations. And please come to the Kumamoto. So and I am looking for seats, many numbers countries Kumamoto. Finally, regarding hosting its country for INEP steering meeting, again reconfirm and requested to Egypt National Committee mostly member country agree to postpone to the held steering committee meeting in 2023, but definitely please proceed a preparation to held next steering meeting. And the Japanese side, again, I convey our idea in order to keep and deliver strong collaboration, strong relationship to the next bigger event. In 2022, we would like to consider a replace event to bigger scale, large size task force meeting or a joint seminar in anywhere. Therefore, please give us some support and the cooperation to the success next event. As my final remarks, I'd like to closing my speech in the hope for the further development in it. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, INEF Japan Committee, for your congratulatory remarks regarding the conduction of 17th INEF Committee meeting. And now it is time to announce the 18th, the country for the 18th INEF Steering Committee and Symposium. I am requesting the chairman to announce the 18th, the country for conducting 18th INEF Steering Committee meeting.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Frankie Pereira. And thank you for the INEF Japan to guide us for the next phase of activities of INEF and suggesting how we go forward in the future. And today we are happy that we could conclude the INEF Steering Committee meeting, 17th Steering Committee meeting, successfully discussing all the matters we have lined up as in the agenda. And I declare that INEF Egypt will host the 18th INEF Steering Committee meeting at Egypt in 2023. And we express our support and cooperation to INEF Japan for conducting extended task force meeting next year to discuss regarding the INEF activities. And I also like to hand over the chairmanship of the INEF to next host country, INF Japan, INF Egypt. Thank you very much.
We have come to the last event of the conference. That is vote of thanks by the Secretary in Sri Lanka Committee, Engineer Lalidia Alice. Over to you, sir, for the vote of thanks.
Good evening to you all. Thank you very much, Frankie. The outgoing chairman of the International INF Committee and the chairman of the Sri Lanka INF Committee, Engineer D.D. Ariratna, the treasurer, Engineer Janaki Migasten of INF Sri Lanka, all the international delegations participated for the INF hybrid meeting from different destinations, INF Korea, INF Japan, INF Thailand, INF Philippines, INF India, and INF Vietnam and INF Cambodia, and all the other country members, the dear participants. It's my privilege to deliver this vote of thanks at the end of the 2 day sessions. Yesterday's the technical symposium organized by us, as well as the working group committee meetings and the formal international steering committee, 17th international steering committee meetings conducted by us with the participation of all the foreign members today. Actually, it was a very grateful event for us. Actually, though we have faced a lot of difficulties under the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation, we had to conduct it last year, 2020 November, but it was postponed at the decision taken at the task force meeting to this year. So in this year, in May, we conducted again another task force meeting to discuss about how we can proceed with our agreement to host this meeting. So finally, we were able to conclude with an agreement on the meeting held on 7th August this year to have the meeting as we scheduled in the first week of November this year. So accordingly, our executive committee members assigned some activities to initiate the initial activities to conduct this event. This shows you how the committee members, the dedicated for the assignment what they have given us. During the preparatory meetings, we conducted 6 preparatory meetings time to time from August to the last week of October. During these 6 preparatory meetings, we were able to plan the meeting well. And however, with the restrictions enforced due to the COVID-19 health guideline and the restrictions, the travel restrictions, some of the meetings we conducted by the virtual meetings through Zoom link and the Microsoft Teams, and the physical meetings too. As a result of those efforts, we were able to conduct the 2 day events very successfully. Actually, we expected 80 participants for the yesterday's technical symposium. Thankfully, there were 74 members for the yesterday event, other than the special invited special guest. Then today we expected 60 participants for the working group meeting and the international steering committee, physically to be participated as a host country. Thankfully, they are here in the morning session. There are 50 heads been with us, but now it's about 32. So without all of the head of the department, the secretaries to the ministries related to this INF activities, we would not be able to conduct this event successfully. So first of all, I must thank for the secretary of the secretary to the Minister of Irrigation, secretary to the Minister of Agriculture, secretary to the State Minister of Irrigation, and secretary to the State Minister of Mahavali Development for their approval and granting permission to attend to the subordinate officers to attend the important event to make a success of our INF International Conference. The same time, I would like to extend our gratitude to the heads of the departments, the Director General of Irrigation, the Director General of Agriculture, Commissioner General of Agrarian Development, Director General of Mahavali Authority of Sri Lanka, Director General of Central Environmental Authority, the Director HARTI, Director RRDI, and the other organizations, especially the provincial councils, the chief secretaries to the provincial councils who released the provincial irrigation directors to attend for this event. Without your support, without their support and without your participation, this would not be the successful event. So apart from the national organizations, we had some collaborations with the IWMI, ICID, and the FAO. Luckily, those three organizations, as they promised, they did their job. Actually, Director General of IMI, Mr. Mark Smith, he nominated a keynote speaker on behalf of him, Dr. Matthew McCartney, and with the request of ICID Secretary of Sri Lanka, Engineer Mrs. On the request of Engineer Mrs. Janaki Bigastana, who acted as the Secretary to the ICID Sri Lanka chapter, the Secretary General of the ICID, the head office located in central India, he supported us to get the participation of the chairman ICID. It's a very difficult task actually. The ICID chairman means like a president of USA. So we should thank to Engineer Mrs. Janaki Bigastana as well as the Secretary General of ICID who are residing at India head office, as well as the President ICID, Professor Raghav Raghav, who accepting our invitation and delivering the very deliberate speech in today's inaugural session. Similarly, I would like to thank for the Japanese speaker, Mr. Tadafumi Kawai, who delivered the opening remarks and the special speech on behalf of the Japanese INF committee as the lead country of the INF to enlighten today's event at the inaugural session. Then I would like to thank to all the foreign country members who participated with us with a webinar, with the online facilities what we have given for them to conduct and participate for the inaugural sessions as well as the working group committee meetings, and finally to the International Steering Committee meeting, the 17th International Steering Committee meetings. Thank you for all for your participation and contribution made against today's decisions. In addition, I would like to thank to the guest speaker, Engineer Ivan De Silva, who participated for the inaugural speech or to deliver the guest speaker of the day to enlighten our event at the inaugural sessions. Then I would like to thank for the working group leaders, the lead country of Japan, lead country of South Korea, and lead country of Malaysia for their valuable contribution and the commitment to conduct the working group committee meetings in very fruitful manner and arrive with some decisions to finalize the 6 6-phase strategy and action plan. So apart from them, I would like to pay my respect and the big thanks for the rapporteurs who worked with us for the yesterday's event as well as the today's event, because the input to be come out as output with the notes for finalizing the 17th the event report that should be expressed, so that have to be submitted to the 18th International Steering Committee. It should be read out by the Sri Lankan delegation who are participating to the 18th International Steering Committee. So please welcome and please provide your assistance to give you the notes on each and every activities what you have been done, having coordinating and participating for the different events what you have assigned. So again, I thankful. I have given my the thanks for you all to the all rapporteurs. Then our team, as I said yesterday, without having the support of our committee members, though they have busy schedules, the Mrs. Janaki Vingastanna, Dr. Upul Ratnayak, Ms. Chandrika Atugala, Engineer Frankie Pereira, Engineer Pramat Titarana, Mr. Karunatilaka, Mrs. Engineer Anoma Pannala, and Engineer Basil, and the Dr. Kitsiri, as well as our ex-treasurer, Mrs. Manjula Samarkong, Engineer Manjula Samarkong. She did some silent work for giving cooperation to provide the financial assistance and financial transaction to make this event a success. Actually, the team spirit we build up with this platform, we were able to conclude the task, and we were able to conclude this 17th International Steering Committee and the symposium, I believe, as a successful event. Then I would like to thank to the Mr. Andro Disanayaka, Secretary to the Ministry of Irrigation, who given us the needed support for granting approval to releasing the allocation to conduct this event. Actually, the 2/3 of the expenditure we covered from the irrigation management division allocation provided for the training and capacity building work. So thanks, I should thank to the Mr. Andro Disanayaka and Mrs. Chandrika Atugala for providing us that support to make the event a success. Then there are some the fellows supported for us behind the screen. Some of the development officers, management assistants of the State Ministry of Irrigation, Mr. Manoj, Ms. Sweeney and others who are working in the water resource management section, who assist to the Dr. Velige Polage, as well as the officer. Now she's working with me as my coordinating secretary, Ms. Hamali Vijayaratna, and all the other, Mr. Madhura, who prepared all the films. And actually, it's very attractive. The films produced to the, especially even for us also. Some of the documentaries are very impressive. So I must thank for them. So finally, I would like to thank to the Mr. Prageet and Colombo Conference, the staff of the Colombo Conference, who gave us the tremendous support to make this event a success without any interruption for the yesterday's program. And today we had to face for some the technical problems, not from our end actually, the other end. So you extended your cooperation and you showed us what the technical capacities and the organizing capacities you have to conduct this kind of the international conference to the other international the communities. Thanks, Mr. Prageet and your team. Then I would like to thank to the Director General of the BMICH and BMICH staff for providing us the fullest cooperation to have this event, because this is the first event they undertake after the opening the country to the public. So though they have some the difficulties, they accepted to provide us these facilities to conduct this meeting. So with that, I would like to again thank for the Mount Lavinia Hotel, Mr. Supun and his staff who provided us the refreshment for two days event. So with that, I hope again I thanks to the INF Japanese committee, INF the South Korea INF Korean committee and the INF Malaysian committee to take who undertook the majority of the part of the conducting working group committee meeting. And I must thank to our chairman, Engineer D.D. Ariratna, who encouraged, who support, and who provided us the real good guidance to conduct this event, the 2 days event, in a successful manner. So it's a good example for you all to improve these kind of facilities in much more valuable way. Actually, as I told you, the final I would say some few words to the audience, especially for the young engineers who have been with us all the time. The INF is a focal point to the report to the country's event. So sometimes the newcomers will think they are providing the message to the other countries, not done by the INF. INF is a reporting platform, the knowledge sharing platform, the knowledge gathering platform to support for you all. Our country action plan and our country progress report is your work actually. What you have been done during last 2 years by the Irrigation Department, by the Mahavali Authority of Sri Lanka, by the Agrarian Development Department, by the provincial councils, by the Central Environmental Authority, and we all have gathered, the committee have gathered all the information from that end. With the today's participation, we will realize all the working group committee members who attended to the working group meetings, that is not the work done by the INF committee or the INF organization. Those are the works done by different organizations who are working in the sector in their respective countries. The role is to connect you with the international committees. That is the INF responsibility. We are accountable to open your minds to the others, give you a chance to cooperate with other communities as well as to work with them. So while working with the INF family, and when I assumed the duties to the Director of Water Resource Management in the Ministry of Irrigation, then the Additional Secretary was the Engineer D.D. Ariratna. He assigned with this subject to me officially to take the role of the responsibility and the activities to be done under the INF. I had the chance to attend for 3 times to the international conferences, in Japan, in Philippines, and in the South Korea. The lot of gatherings you will see, and you could interact with them, and you can network in with them and gather more information on the related subjects you preferred. So I kindly request you to be with us, and most probably the next AGM will be held in the last week of November or early December. I need to get retirement actually from this post, and we invite you to take the part of this the platform and work and enjoy with the activities entailed with the INF activities. With that, the success of your path is the dedication, commitment, and attending to the assignment at the correct time. With that, I conclude. Thank you very much.
as planned, we have concluded the meeting at 5 o'clock. And thank you very much, everybody, for live participation and your commitment, especially the committee headed by Engineer Didi Aryaratna and Engineer Lydia Liss and Engineer Janaki Migastana. And the tea and refreshments are ready outside the hall. You can have it, and safe journey to your home.
Oh, me apa ni yang nanti yang Oh, apa gua kan? Kaya baru kau dia memang kau dia dan lagi kau ni. Kau gila dan. Ni kira. Baru nak kawan nak terus dah hamil. Oh ni. Iya teh. Ni ondan ni. Iya ada saya sama itu nak adi. Ada ni dah itu ni. Strike ke? Ada. Ada itu ini ada mang. Ada yang kau dah tina bowling mana dalam je. Ni man. Oh, mata kau deh. Iya titi ada. Ni man dan nak lagi kalau ni. Nah, tak boleh. Katiye. Agar nanti ni mana je main band ni ramai ini lagi ramai. Oh. Enggak nanti ni mini ham kiwe apa pasti kau nak selalu kau ni tu istirahat inham deh naik. Yang mana pun jangan istirahat ni. Ay dah meme. Ya ada ni dah muka kat. Area jalan tu tu dah benar ni meme main mat. Malu kapan? Mahinda barang ni kena tam pusat din dan istirahat. Oh, kapan malu kapan dah dan break. අර කොල්ලත් අනිත් පැත්තට ගැව්වා. මයින්ද මාත්‍රාද අතේ බලන්න එක. වැඩි හොර එන්නේ. ඉතාලට දෙන්න තමයි බල. ඔව්. දැන් ඔය කැඩෙන කට්ටිය මේල දැන් මේල එපා වෙලා කැඩෙන කට්ටිය අල්ලගෙන තමයි ඊගොල්ලන්සලා එන්නේ එහා පැත්තට දාලා වෙනම ටීම් එකක් හැදෙන්නේ. ඔය ඔක්කොම ගේම්. අයියෝ. හැලෙන්න දෙන්න තියෙන ඒ ටික තියාගන්න කියලා උන්ට කිව්ව ගිහිල්ලා. මයින්ද මාත්‍රාගේ සුපිරි ගේම් ඕ. ඉන්දර ගණන් එහා කියන්නේ තමයි. නේද කියන්නේ. හලෝ. නෑ ආවේ නෑ. මම මේ වයර් ඔතන ගන්නවා. ඔය ඉතින් මේ කන්ට්‍රෝල් එක ගාව ඉන්නේ. කන්ට්‍රෝල් එක ගාව මේ කැට්ටිය වල ඔතනද? boleh. Ini क्या था? तो ये देखा. तो उनका रेडी भी नहीं था. हमारी तो इससे वेट ना हो. बहुत मिलते हैं. 399 पे.
Hello. මේ තාම නෙපිටින් තව කියලා දැන් තව පොඩ්ඩකින් බඩු ටික පැක් කරන්නත් තියෙනවා. බඩු ටික කොහොර කොහෙද කොගී? මම මේ යන්නේ ඉතින් නැතුව මේ ඔක්කොම ටික පුළුවන් ඉතින් මේවා කරා. කොහෙද කොගී කියලා. ඔව් මේ අනේ පැටි මට හෙට උදේ පාන්දර IT යන්න වෙනවා මේ උයි දෙන්න. මං හෙට IT ගිහිල්ලා එහෙනම් ඒක දීලා දැන් ගිහිල්ලා IT දීලා එහෙනම් එන්නම් ඈ. එහෙම ඔව් වනේ දැන් අර ඉතාලි මහින්ද කතා කරලා කිව්වා හෙට අනිවාර්යයෙන් යන්නලු IT එකට DDT ගිහින් දෙන්න. මේ පිල්ලෑම ඒක ගිහින් දෙන්න යන්න කියලා කිව්වා. මේ දැන් ඔය කිව්වේ යන්න එපා දැන් මාස ගණන් තිස්සේ IT සුවර්ණහන කියලා බලන් ඉන්නවනේ. වැඩක් දැන් මේක හදිසියපත් වුණොත් එහෙනම් මේක හරි කරලා ඉවර කරලා දාන්න බෑ. නෑ මගේ අම්මා මගේ ඇස්තේ බලලා. එහෙනම් මේකක් නෑ බැන්නලා මම කොහොමද කියන්නේ. මම යන්නේ නෑ ගිහිල්ලා ගිහින්. මේ ඔක්කොම මෙතන දාන්න යන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඇයි සුපුරුටින් කියලා නේ බවුල්. ඔව්. දැන් කියලා කියද අපි බාරපොත්. කිසි කියලා කයි බෑක් කියලා දාන්න. මේ ඔව් දෙයි. වැරදිලා ගන්න සල්ලි ඕනේ